Good evening and welcome back to the Cincinnati Kids Vintage Baseball Card Channel, where stories and history and cards, both yours and mine, come together to meet. So we see here two very interesting cards. One is at one spectrum of the grading, one is at the other, low versus high. One's a modern card, one is a beautiful vintage card, but they're both beautiful for different reasons. And do they even really belong together? In my collection, they do. And side by side, I'm very proud to have this 1962 Topps Willie Mays in a 1.5, graded by SGC, and this beautiful Barry Larkin Topps Gilded Collection, gold refractor with the wave. I don't even know how to pronounce it correctly, in the tin. And tonight that got me to thinking about a different way to go. There's been so many videos out here, and they've all been superb that I've been able to get to. People's top cards in their collection, like the countdown, like a top 50, top 25. And it's either by personal enjoyment of the card, which I actually like those a little better, but those show some individuality there. And there's some that are more based on the value of the card, and I get that as the math side of me gets from people that quantify in that manner. I do the very same thing, and you get to see some beautiful high-end cards that way. Fabulous countdowns. I've watched dozens. But I'm going to throw in something a little different, because that's what I do, because I'm different. I have to be the contrarian. So tonight, I'm going to show you my top 10 countdown based on grade. The best card, I think, in my collection, to my eye appeal, by the grade number. We talk a lot about buy the card, not the grade, on various channels. And I'd say buy the card and the grade, if it makes sense. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to do it in SGC style. So stay tuned. So let's get into it here. I hope you like the new intro music. Decided to reshoot that because the last one was maybe a little too long. So time is valuable, so let's go right along. First, you see, of course, this is in the Gem Mint 10, the Barry Larkin Wave card I was talking to you about earlier. And if you don't mind tonight, we're going to do hand model a la John from 3D80s Kid. Shout out to him. Because I don't think there are any rookie cards. Well, there's one. So, sorry, John. Most of these cards are not rookie cards, but we're going to go, here's number 10. I do not have a 9.5 or a 9. Maybe I can correct that next year. If this is something I do again next year, we'll see. So next grade I have is an 8. And you guys saw this on our recent video. I'm bringing it back because I believe that's my best 8. 1972 Topps, Harmon Killebrew. You're going to notice some of these higher grade cards are going to be more closer to end of vintage era or modern. And I guess this would be considered modern. It's not really vintage, but my best 8.5, I believe, is this 1983 Donruss Carly Yastrzemski. I love it how he's posed there with the in action, laying down bunt. Guys like close to retirement, he's got a couple more seasons left and he's putting down a bunt. I think that's just really cool. That's how players played back then. Gave all out all the time. And I love the design of the card on the bottom there, the bat with the ball. I think is really neat with the yellow bat and the red letters. So we'll move along here. So we'll move this one out so Barry won't depart. Now we're going to go with, I guess we got these backwards a little bit. I believe this is the only 7.5 graded card for SGC in my collection at the moment. And we got the Bob Gibson, 74 tops. Would that card get a 7.5 today? Probably not. I love the old labeled SGC slabs up there like that. That's really neat. Okay, so we're gonna move along here. I hope I don't have any of these other cards out of order. So 7 was tough. I have a lot of beautiful 7s in my collection, I believe. Eye appeal. And I could have classified this out and I had a beautiful 7 in the 1960 tops. I got a beautiful 65 tops and a 7. Any of these cards could have made it. But this one just seemed to me, it's just so nice. And it's a player that I have not showcased enough. And shout out to Terry, TJ Mack, who is a huge Steve Garvey fan. I know there's other Steve Garvey fans out there that are Dodger fans, but he did a video, Terry did a video a few months back on Steve Garvey, and that inspired me to pick up this card, which I got ungraded at my LCS and then sent off to SGC, and that's what we got. Okay, now we're getting to some more heavy hitters, cards that I have. A couple of these next two I've had a long time, and they're still, to me, I sent them off to be graded last year to SGC, and they're still, to me, my favorites in these grades, and probably always will be. I don't know, this is just, to me, just really stunningly fabulous. The Eddie Matthews in the 6.5. I guess I'll turn it this way because it's kind of hard to see it that way. That's one of my all-time favorite cards. It's got to be in my top 10. If the house is burning down, I can grab a few cards, that's really vain, but this would be one I would grab, I'm sure. And of course, we would follow that up with, spread this out just a bit, Eddie Matthews. This card, I'll show it up close at first. Get the reflection of my ugly mug. Oh well. That's not what you want to see. So we want to see Roberto Clemente or Bob on this card. But I've shown this card before, not in a while. I don't know if it really deserves a 6. There's some print marks on it, but this is the one time of the year I'll talk about card condition. But I just love the way the letters go down here. The white to red, or white to red. The orange background just screams late 50s, early 60s. That blue background reminds me of a restaurant in Chicago that used to be in the, that had the 60s and 50s feel to it in Chicago in the Palmer House. It was known as Trader Vic's. But that's just a superb Clemente. It was my first Roberto Clemente card. I've had that card for many, many years. Okay, we're gonna move on now. Not as exciting, but still, we have to get to odd grade since these are half grades. And we'll go with Willie Stargell in the 65 tops. One of my favorite cards. Again, the old label. I believe this would be a 5.5 easy today. Maybe the surface is not bright enough. It might have been near the end of the print run for this sheet. There is a small fisheye in the eye there, a little bit. Otherwise, superb card. One of my favorites. I'm not really getting this spaced very well. Apologize. In the new year, I'm eventually going to come up with a video showcasing the 65 top set and where I'm at with that. It'll be a little more involved than just a state of the collection video. provide some history, some talking points about the cards, why I picked out some of them. Okay, we're gonna move. We'll keep Roberto up there for another segment. Okay, I had a lot of 5s to choose from. It was kind of tough, but I went with this one more on sentimental reason for my friend Drew at Clean Cheap Shots. So shout out to him. He loves Ken Boyer. I do too. We both think he should be in the Hall of Fame. He needs to be on the ballot next time. The beautiful 55 Topps rookie here. This is, I think, the only rookie, John. 3D 80s kid, if you're watching, in this runoff. The beautiful green background of shades out. I love these bunting pose, and the yellow background, yellow border with the red letters and the Cardinals, which is just a fabulous card. I picked this one up ungraded as well. This was my first purchase. Another reason why I'm highlighting this was my very first purchase of 2024, and sent it up to SGC post haste came back and gave me that grade. Very happy with that card. Maybe he'll make it someday in the Hall. Up next, 4.5, another card I found ungraded and had graded earlier this year. Had a few choices with the 4.5, a 55 Bowman. I'm drawing a blank on the name. Maybe it'll come to me in a minute. 55 Bowman, oh geez. Gil Hodges with that tough wood border. It was down between that card and this card, and I've got a couple Dodgers in here already, so I'm gonna try to limit that. But this card reminds me of some Dodgers fans out there, and Steve, Vintage on Vintage, shout out to you. I think this card is superb for what it got. And I don't like to mention it as much, but this is a tough card to get centered, and this one is pretty decent in that department. So we'll keep gazing there, and we'll move over, if I don't knock over Willie. Ken there, and again on that Pee Wee Reese, the yellow background with the red letters is just, reminds me of the old school shell signs, and I always love that, although I think that's yellow on a red background, but same diff to me. Okay, so who is going to be, let's just start setting out some others here. This is gonna get, maybe I can get them all in here, maybe not. I don't know. But we're having fun tonight. We're ad-libbing, no script for a change. Although I will go back to some scripted story type videos with cards next year. What we got here? Number 4. This was another tough call. There were some great cards out there. I have a 59, I think are great in my collection. 59 Al-Kaline, Topps Al-Kaline. But this gentleman recently got in the Hall of Fame, and I snagged this at my local card shop about a month before the selection, sent it up, graded, got it back. I don't know how this got a 4. I don't complain about card grades, very, very rarely. It gets what it gets. I think SGC does a really good job with vintage. But this just looks fantastic with the black background and the stands from the ceiling or the overhang, and the silver with red trim. I love that on the 66 Topps. Just pops in the tucks. So it's staying in here, not going anywhere. Congratulations to Mr. Allen for making the Hall overdue and well-deserved. Here's the back. Maybe it's a little bit because the back's off a bit, but Sometimes I kind of wonder, how does the Ken Boyer get a 5 and this gets a 4? But hey, it's okay. 3.5. I have a few 3.5s and they're all kind of rough. Softer corners, whether they're centered, not centered. But this is just a classic. And there's no really roughed up points on this card, no wrinkles or creases that I can see on it. This was a national pickup from this year, and a couple of viewers have asked for this to come back on the channel for a video, so it will tonight. This is my only Mickey Mantle card at the moment. That's, well, I guess you can't really call this a base because it's an all-star card. That's not either like some sort of subset card or where he's in with another player or two players or so. And that's all right. If I don't get any another Mickey Mantle cards, this one will do it for me. But I may change that next year. We'll see how things go. But this is just a beautiful set, the 58 All-Star set. I also have the Ernie Banks in this set. Not near as nice as this. It has a little paper loss at the top, but this card is solid 3.5. I'm sure I traded for this card. A few cards to trade for this. It's a great image of the Mick swinging through. Okay. It's starting to get a little long-winded on the video, and I don't want this to go too long, so let's move along. I should actually probably put this Richie over here. Richie Ashburn then. Dick Allen, actually. He went by Dick, not Richie. Even though it says Richie on the top there. Richie Ashburn. So when you get down to the 3 range, it's kind of tough. I've have a couple that were sort of nice, but nothing that screams like some of the PSA 3s I have that are just, again, you kind of scratch your head. What's wrong with this card that it's a 3? I'm sure there's something on there. But this one is probably a good 3. I think there's maybe a little bit of staining on it, but again, there he is, bunting. I like the bunting pose when players used to bunt. Always love the back of the 54s. And that's a good example of one. So Richie Ashburn is at the 3. So now we're moving down to where the cards, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. These are well-loved cards, and it just is what it is. Another card that's difficult to get centered and eye appeal, but on the video you're not going to see as many of the flaws that it has. I do not think there's a slight little bit of wrinkling on the card right around his ear and cap going vertically down, but obviously soft corners maybe dinged a little bit there, but this is the only 2.5 SGC card I have, and I'd always wanted 68 tops, and I kept holding out and holding out and holding out to find a fairly decent eye appealed one. Some of these are badly miscut. A lot of them are actually badly miscut. Here's the back, which is sort of miscut, but the yellow, orangish yellow patina is still nice on the back of the card. The Hit King, purchased this right after he had passed away, before prices shot up a little bit there. So this is my forever 68 of Pete. Rest in peace. So now we're going down to 2. I'm just going to spread these out a little bit and just do 2 at a time now. Maybe actually before I destroy the whole set. I'm going to back off some cards here. view the Mickey Mantle a little longer. I mean, it's not like it's a massive Mickey Mantle card. There's obviously members of the community that have just stunning mantles of any year. But those early Bowmans, 52 Bowman, boy, just maybe someday, we'll see. But let's go now to the final 3 cards. We're at number 2. And here it is. I have 2 2s. And this one, I really like the best. 51 Bowman, Duke Snider. Love the green background there. The pose shot. There is some staining on this card, so either if this was Kurt card cared, Jiminy Christmas. They didn't get all of it out, but hopefully not. I'm fine with the staining. You can see it up there in a little bit in that corner, but this is at a decent price point. The image in the front is pretty stellar. It's Duke Snider, can't beat it. Maybe someday I'd love to get his 57 tops, but I'm not going to be able to get too many Duke Snider cards because they're just, let's not cover up the Mick. They're just too expensive. Sorry, Richard Ashburn. Sorry, Phillies fans, but it is what it is. Next, I showed this card at the start of the video, but here we go. 1.5. I've got a couple cards 1.5, and this Willie Mays and the 62 tops. I've wanted this card for a long time. This is a very recent pickup. Kind of got card Christmas crazy here a little bit recently on eBay, which I'm going to throttle back now quite a bit in the new year. I'll try to get to more shows instead of just buying cards off of eBay. Not that it's fine to do that from time to time, I still might, but I'm really going to try to become the devil's playground. I need to stay off. But what I like about this card is so interesting. So this was a well-loved card. An earlier collector or owner of this card decided to update his lifetime home run total, probably after this season. I think that's neat. That's probably what makes it a 1.5. Otherwise, it might have been a 2.5. I don't know. Who cares? There's not a ton of snowing on this. There's a little bit. It's a really clear image. Just love this pose. He's smiling. This card's been shown on many channels, but I've been up in my 62 tops a bit. The set has really grown on me. I've got the one off to grading right now. And finally, showed this card last year in a different kind of countdown, but this is maybe my best one of any card in my collection. 56 Henry Aaron. Why is it a 1? It's very hard to see. Camera's not going to focus. There is a wrinkle running through just under his nose and above his lip, down. Slight wrinkle, doesn't go through the back of the card. Just a little bit of staining up there, but someone decided to write the number 22 on the back. Why, I don't know. Still, for the price point I was able to get in on this card, I would love to have the 55 as well, but this is, if I don't get another Hank Aaron card, this will do it for me. I don't think I'll ever go for the rookie. It's just beyond what I want to pay in any grade. And so many of you guys out there have such a wonderful collection that includes his I'm gonna get that focused a little better. That includes his rookie card in it, and it reminds me to give another shout out here to Billy Ball Cards, who picked up a 54 rookie at the National. So that's it, folks. This is the end of the SGC countdown. I will do a PSA one next, so my PSA friends will be happy. But until then, thanks for watching. If it's not out before Christmas, Merry Christmas to everyone. May you have a blessed New Year and blessed Christmas with your families. And good night.